Holy crap, guys, that was quite the episode. Our last one there, fighting with that alarm setting, our time and alarm setting knob. I think next time we're gonna use that. We're gonna use this, and we're gonna use that steel plate which was floating around the table here. I don't know where it is now. I think I threw it back in my toolbox somewhere. I think if we used a piece of foam and that steel plate under the knob and then pried on the gear, I think we'd have a better result overall. But this is a thick piece of foam here, and who knows, it'll just take experimentation. Even I may end up grabbing another bell, you know, cutting it up a bit, and you know, doing whatever, building whatever jig that needs to be built to get those knobs off, because that is ridiculous. Like, this should not be as big of a deal as it is, but you know what can you do, right? So we're gonna take our spring barrel apart with its extra long shaft. It's got the usual gearing on it on the front here, but of course it's got that extension for that other gear. My theory is that all this paraphernalia here exists so when the alarm goes off, the light turns on. But that's only a theory. I never actually tested this clock. I realized it was completely unwound as I was taking it apart. Next time I should just stick a key in and just see if it'll tick, and just, you know, because I had the light working, so I could have tripped the alarm and, you know, seen what it would do, but whatever. It is what it is. And yes, these are splined on. These spring barrels, they're splined together like that. So I'm just taking a nice thick piece of aluminum and just hammering that out. Let's see, there she is. There's the mainspring. It's the same size as the others. Okay. For a second I thought this would be more of a nuisance, but I think we've got our technique pretty well down pat, I'd say. Okay, now we'll very gently take that out of there and not deform it in the process. That's a very easy thing to do, so I've heard. Oh yeah, there she is. Just get a few coils out. Yeah, you can see just by looking at this, I mean, it's very industrial, right? It's very sort of, you know, this was built to serve a purpose, and it's a machine. It's not a piece of art, you know what I mean? Some people may think it's a piece of art. I think that they're great. I don't know if I think they're pieces of art necessarily. I don't really have much of an opinion on art in general, but that's just me. I don't know. I don't really screw around with that type of stuff. I love cosmetics. I love cosmetic, you know, designs and things like that, but art, I don't know. Okay, let's get all our goofy little parts here, and I'm throwing screws everywhere, throwing wheels everywhere, and let's clean all this stuff up. Oh, you know what? Actually, I should take that hairspring off of that balance wheel next. Let's see. Put that there. That's still tangled up ever so slightly. We're gonna just take a nice pair of pliers there, and then just kind of, we'll see what's gonna happen next. Angle it under the collet on the hairspring, and squish the hairspring and bend it all out of shape and all that, you know. There we go. You want it to look kind of like this. Why is my camera so out of focus today? Goodness sake. Can you even see that? It's kind of dark, I know. We've got our hairspring under the collet, and I think I'm coming down with a cold meanwhile. And I'm just going to gently pry that collet off. Pop it up. There she is. And we'll fix that hairspring there in a moment. And get that out of there. Okay. Now, for the hairspring, we can grab our tweezers, dump them out on the table here, and we will straighten this thing out. Let's see here. There's a dance party going on upstairs. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's see here. Oh, we may have just lost the dance party. Okay, the dance party can resume upstairs again. And let's see here. How did I screw this up now? I'm just kind of running my tweet. Yeah, I know. Just trying to chase that. Actually, I should probably go in the other way, shouldn't I? I may just cut ahead and come back. Never mind, we're doing a good job here. We're actually doing it. We're chasing that curl around and around and around, or whatever. Or well, I guess, would it be a twist or a curl, or what would you even call that? Well, I think we just found it. I think this is just stuck in the wrong way. Or not. It's okay, we'll just go around and around and around. Try not to take the entire hairspring with us. Am I going in or out? What is going on here? It's not very, what the heck? I might be going the wrong way here, you guys. Yeah, it's just a bit tangled. We'll come back to this in a minute. Okay, I don't know how well you can actually see that, but we've rectified our tangled hairspring. And now we are good to clean the rest of this. So what I'm probably going to do is just cut ahead, skip the vast majority of the cleaning, because I'm literally throwing this in my cleaning solution, which looks a little bit like this. You know, it's going to wind up in there. The whole movement is. That's ZEP 505 in that container there. Going to scrub it all down. The hairspring I'll probably clean with soap and water. And that'll kind of be the long short of that. I also forgot to mention that there's going to be a, with this cleaning process here, I always rinse everything off, you know, with water after I'm done in the ZEP 505. And then I dry it off with my hair dryer. This is literally my claw cleaning process right now. And it seems to work good. I'm okay with it. I wear my rubber gloves here. I've got my light on just to remind myself if I happen to walk away for some reason, or, you know, just as an indicator to not only light up the space, but also just to signify that something is in my cleaning solution. Because this stuff will corrode after a while. It won't look pretty. And, yeah, I've damaged plates and stuff in the past that way. Just by accidentally, you know, I forgot something was in the cleaner or whatever, so. As long as there's parts in here, I always leave that light on. That's an LED. For those of you interested, that is a Ryobi. I don't know what exactly it's called. It's one of the flashlights. It's from 2009, but it's been converted to LED. So it was incandescent, and I'm using a new lithium 18-volt battery with it, as opposed to the original nickel cadmium or nickel cadmium. Is it? That does not sound right. The original NiCad battery that came with it, I'm not using anymore. Wasn't holding a charge in, so. Yeah, I do have some cordless tools. They're all the old ones, though. I just have a new battery. I was able to get a smoking deal at Home Depot for a new 18-volt trimmer and battery and charger kit, and that's exactly what I went with. So, after buying all the old Ryobi tools, all the old Ryobi cordless tools, I'm set, basically. I don't have like a router or anything, but I have just like the generic like circular saw, impact driver, drill, reciprocating saw, I think they're called. Yeah. I only use them every once in a while. I'm not constantly using power tools, but they are handy to have. If you ever need to build something, they're very handy to have around. All this type of stuff. So anyway, this is probably one of my most used tools right here, just the flashlight. just to light everything up better so I can see what the heck I'm doing half the time. There is a Ryobi magnifying light, actually, but I think it's too expensive. It's got a magnifying glass and an LED flashlight built into it. It's one of the new tools, but it's, you know, it works on the 18-volt system. It's their standard system there, and I don't know, it's like for $59 or something at Home Depot right now. I'm waiting. I've been waiting forever for that thing to go on sale because I may actually pick it up, but it never seems to. And I know the second I buy it, it'll go on sale. I don't know. It's not like a. I'm not dying to, you know, without it. You can see with these movements. I mean, as far as wristwatches go, you absolutely need magnification. But as far as clock movements go, you only need magnification so much. You know, it's not like I'm doing stuff with that every conceivable second of the day, you know. I wasn't going to show much of my cleaning process, but I guess I'm just talking while I'm doing it. Let's see, is that good? We're going to peg the pivots later as well. For those of you who don't know what that means, you take a toothpick, or in the watchmaking world, you take a piece of pegwood and you just run it through each pivot hole, and you collect any dirt that's hiding in there. It's an additional cleaning strategy, and it's a good one. It's very good, because it'll get all kinds of crap out of there. Crap that may make or break your service. Your movement may not run because you didn't peg the pivot holes. As I throw this everywhere. So yeah, for those of you who really wanted to see my system, here it is. My cleaning system. At long last. I realized I left a crucial piece of context out of my power tool story, actually. I have all these 2009 tools, but I wasn't doing this type of stuff in 2009. I got them off of Facebook Marketplace for $100, got the entire kit. It was basically brand new. It had actually no, it had never been used. The kit had never been used, maybe once, but the vast majority of the tools, you know, they're new old stock. The bag looks, and it comes with the canvas bag that, you know, you can carry your tools in. It's absolutely, like, pristine. So the only concern I'd even have with these is possibly servicing the drill and some of the other tools one of these days, because, you know, it's been forever. I don't know how long power tools are supposed to go without a service. I know I'm applying the clockmaking and watchmaking mentality to everything. But I mean, that is true. Machines need, you know, maintenance every now and then. So how often do those tools need it? Obviously, this is a flashlight, so, you know, you don't need any, but unless there's an electrical problem. But as for the mechanical tools, they should be serviced at some point. I don't think they need to be yet, though. I don't know. They may not be old enough. Lubricants have also like improved over time, so I've heard. Some of you will probably debate me on that. I wouldn't be surprised. There probably are, you know, there's all kinds of special cases, right? But by and large, it seems like oils have improved over time. Their longevity, that, you know, they live a longer life now, and it's all hunky-dory, as opposed to the past, where oils would get dirty faster and gum up, or I guess gum up faster would be the proper term. Anyway, so yeah, I'm using a new battery and old tools. You can do that with the Ryobi 18-volt system. So, there she is. Contemplated skipping this part, but I've decided against it. One thing I did, just kind of almost unconsciously, I didn't even realize I was kind of doing it until it happened, was I put the hairspring back on the balance wheel. Yes, there will come a time when, if you do these enough, stuff like that will just be automatic. You know, you won't even have to think about it because you've done it so many times now. I must have been inside about, like, probably around 80 or 90 alarm clocks by this stage in the game. I've been doing this since 2018, so it's getting to that point where, you know, I'm going to be in the triple digits as far as how many clocks I've been into. But yeah, this was simply oh jeez, this, wait, is this upside down? Did I screw this up? No, it's the right side. No, it's the right way. Yeah, no, it's the right way around. Okay, good. Or is it? Yes, it is. Okay. I thought I put the hairspring on backwards for a minute. I just stuck that back on. I literally just took my, this is semi-risky, I took a pair of pliers, got it like over the collet, and then just tapped it on with the back end of a screwdriver, you know? An even better way of doing this, actually, I didn't do it this time, was just use one of the holes in the plates, put it around the collet, and then just tap the plate down, and then you'll push your hairspring back onto the staff, or push the collet back onto the staff. For those of you who don't know, the collet is this brass piece here, and this hairspring is glued in. Is this out of focus? You gotta be kidding me. Goodness sake. Sorry, this is the collet, this is the hairspring, and this is the balance staff. This staff running through the center of the wheel. Sorry about that, I didn't even realize it was out of focus. Okay, we're gonna put our mainspring back in. So, if you didn't take a picture of which way it goes in, that's fine, because you can see that slot there. That there's a tab running this way to the left. So if we hook this in, we hook it into the right, because the spring is going to pull, in this case, the spring is going to pull to this way. So it's pulling against that hook. So you always put it in the opposite way of the way the hook is facing, if that makes any sense. You can see that way better. You can see where this fits around. And from that point, you just coil it in. It's interesting, with watchmaking, people don't like hand coiling in mainsprings. They always buy a set of mainspring winders. And I mean, if you're like a professional and you're doing this all the time, by all means, I can understand why you do that. But for people who don't do it every single day of every single hour, of every single day, you know, I'm actually not gonna say too much more on that, because that is something I don't even fully comprehend, that whole thing. Just the ability to possibly damage springs by manhandling them like that. On an alarm clock like this, it's not gonna make any difference, but on a wristwatch, you may get in trouble for that. The spring may bend out of shape somehow, and it may throw off your timekeeping or whatever, I don't know. If you throw a few dabs of oil in this thing, because the spring needs it, so move around. There we go. I'm being fairly liberal with that. That's most definitely enough. Could probably put less in, but oh well. I don't think it's too picky. Stick this back on, and now we'll do the complete opposite of what we did last time, which is just hammer this into place. So if we just, there we go. If we put our, we'll hammer into our collet here on this side. And I might get, actually, should I get a staking set out for this? No, I think we can fit the collet in between these two wooden blocks. And even if it doesn't quite hammer onto that specifically, that metal is tough. That's blue steel. So let's see what happens here now. It just went right back where it wasn't supposed to go. Okay. They also give you these oiling holes on the front of the spring barrel cover. I'm assuming that's because this isn't meant to come apart, but we take it apart anyway. I don't know why Westclox was so anti-servicing during this time period. I mean, like, it makes sense. Like, you know, chances are no one's gonna buy your clock and get it fixed after, but like, still, you know, you'd think, one would assume. Oh, did I hammer that too far back? Oh, I probably did. Okay, we're gonna hammer that back the other way. Just one or two taps. It needs that long staff there, so we're gonna, there we go. Yeah, I want to keep this keep this proportionate. Yeah, this is way too, I think that's too long the other way now. Oops. There she is. Okay. Okay. Again, we're hammering into that piece of aluminum. Oh, maybe it's not supposed to be like that. Now I gotta go back and almost look at the video here, because I'm not even sure how the heck this is supposed to go now. Let's just see. Let's tap it this way again. Does it unlock? If it locks up on you, then it's the then it's the spring barrel and the barrel cover interacting with the splines. The splines are just lines that just run down the shaft, and they're just used for holding things together. Right now, this shaft is on that set of splines in this spring barrel here. So it's letting this move, but it won't let you just pull the barrel cover off. That's why, you know, like I didn't even try to do this. Like usually with an alarm clock, you just turn this backwards or whatever, or, you know, like fiddle with it until the spring lets go, and then just kind of, you know, pop it off. But in this one, it won't let you. You got to hammer it on and off. That's how this barrel cover goes together. And again, they didn't want you taking those apart. They just didn't. That's why those oil holes are there, so you can get oil in there even after. And I think actually that's more of a manufacturing thing. They hammered these together probably, or pressed them together, sorry, and then oiled them after. I didn't even think of that, but whatever. Let's see, is this gonna fit in here correctly? Is this all proportionate to how it's supposed to be? Let's see. Actually, while I'm doing this, I could put some gears on and just see how good or bad the plate is. Okay, there's one. Throw the hammer in there. Am I on the wrong? I'm probably on the wrong. Goodness sake. I'm trying to figure out where I'm even at here. There we go. Things are coming together now. Ooh. Okay, what's going on here? It's okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so as long as this moves in here. And is anything bent? Certainly doesn't feel like it is. Oh yeah, it pulls this way. Oh, what am I scraping up against now? With plates like this, that's why you do these checks, you know, to make sure things are moving correctly. And I'm not sure what the heck. Oh, great. Oh, that piece of wire just fell right out. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah, when will the wonders cease? Jeepers creepers, guys. Okay, you know what? Oh, am I scraping up against that pillar there? That's the last thing I want. Okay, this should spin, you know, whichever way. This should spin both directions fine. And it seems to be able to do that now. Is it rubbing up against something though? I think we'll be okay, actually. Let's put that piece of wire back on, shall we? Jeepers creepers, what a shame. Yeah, this would have been just immediately pressed in with some sort of machine. Some sort of special jig they would have had for this piece of wire. Is this thing going to just be miserable? It holds that alarm in place. That alarm pivot. There she is. Okay, that went back on easily. For some reason, I thought that was harder than it was. Okay, well, that's good. Okay. Yeah, and this should just pop on and oops, this should just move in and out without any sort of, or it won't. What am I getting hooked on now? Okay, never mind. Yeah, this is okay now. Good, good, good. Okay, that wire's in place. The spring barrel is acting like it wants to move. Let's try our gear train in here, and let's see how smooth all the gears. So the gears spin nice and free in this, even though again there's been no bushing replacements. But I have no idea, you know, with plate bending and all that fun and games, if I possibly screwed this area up, especially over here. Doesn't appear we have though. Something's rubbing up against something somewhere and making that funny noise, but I don't know what that is. Might be one of the pieces of wire they got on this thing. I'm not quite sure what that noise is, or if I'm just taking things too seriously. Our motion work, oh geez. I just realized I made a mistake. Our motion work isn't interacting with our center wheel. Because again, stuff got bent. See, this is why we do these tests, you know? Yeah, it's not even, this isn't spinning with it. That's a problem. Okay. There we go, let's try that. Try a bit of, there she is. There she was. I might have to fix that a little bit better. Okay, so what I've just done is I gave this gear a couple of taps with the hammer, and we seem to have evened out that whole, whoa, as I move my tripod over, we seem to have evened out this area here, which is where our cannon pinion is, and of course that cannon pinion interacts with our part of our motion work here, and of course this, you know, this is our time setting intermediate gear. Okay, well, with that in mind, we will keep on keeping on. Now, because I was a dolt and didn't like take enough pictures of this thing before I took it apart, I actually don't know how this is all supposed to work. I'm assuming that this goes in one of these holes here somehow. But at the end of the day, I'm really not sure what's going to happen with that, or how the alarm is supposed to work in this movement. I can only assume that this is meant to swing forward somehow, but I've actually got no idea. There's three options of where this could go in. It is the right side up, like it is, you know, facing the right way at least, so there's that. That could go in that hole there. It could wind up out here. Actually, I don't think it can go in that hole. No, I don't think we can make it in there. Okay. So there's two places for it to go. In with the wire in that hole, probably out. I'll take my chances and say it goes out here first. Although, while I'm saying that, does it interact with anything? I see there's a piece of wire. I don't want to throw the whole thing out of whack here, but there is a piece of wire that runs down through that hole there. Now, what is that? What is all this wire for? They've got more wire on this one than the usual version of this, where again, this doesn't exist. I think these holes exist, but I haven't seen them, or haven't paid much attention to them. I don't know. This for sure just holds the escape wheel in its spot. This is the this piece of wire. What this does is when this turns, it moves the escape wheel forwards and backwards. And I'm talking about the alarm escape wheel here. It moves it forwards and backwards, so the spring barrel can kind of lock and unlock, if that makes any sense. And this thing acts as a winding ratchet. And if you've worked on other clocks in the past, you'll notice that there is no winding ratchet on this movement. This is the acting ratchet mechanism here. So we know what this does, so at least there's that. But this piece of wire here is completely ambiguous. I'm just gonna stick that in that hole there and just hope it works, because this area over here, like, there's nothing here. This has to move or something. There's no way this just sits here and doesn't, you know what I mean? I'm assuming, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Although if I stick it there, okay, there, at least that moves somehow. We'll try it. We'll try it. If we have to take it back apart, we will, but I highly doubt anything goes over here. But of course we'll find out once the plates are together. So I've just been screwing around with this, got the plates together, and I've just been looking at this, and I see that it lines up perfectly with our spring barrel. And if I press that down, this tab locks the teeth of our spring barrel. That piece of wire slides back, and it locks in place. Did this thing have some sort of snooze function on it, I wonder? We still haven't discovered what this is for yet, and the piece of wire that goes with it. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep building this. We're gonna see what's going on. Otherwise, it seems like our gear train, if I just give the pallet fork a flick, that seems perfectly healthy. So that is okay. We've got ours, you know, we haven't screwed this whole thing up beyond all help. I'm gonna keep putting this together and just see what happens. After getting to this stage in the game where we've got our piece of spring steel on there, this goes on like that, no surprise there. And then this piece here is interesting. This tab poking out on this side, this is supposed to be in between these two. And I'm thinking whenever you wind this thing up, it moves, or whenever the alarm rings, or whenever this whole wheel rotates here, this, I'm not sure what the deal is, but it's gonna do something with the alarm. I don't think this turns the light on and off anymore, actually. This might turn the alarm on and off. We'll see though. We'll see what this is all about. Really, it's really not quite clear what's up here. There we go. It's supposed to hook on just like that. You can see the tab and you can see the way the spring's moving around here. And if this is completely wrong, I'm going off of the video here and I'm looking back at, you know, the previous part and I'm just seeing how the heck this all worked. This should be the way this works. This should be the way this moves as well. There we go. So we'll see what happens. Oh, is this not gonna play ball with me now? There it is. We'll see what happens, and we'll just keep experimenting. So if all has been reassembled correctly, this should just kind of look like this. And I've just very gently put that knob back on there, just in case I have to pull it back off. I've just kind of you know, pressed it on there until it grips, which isn't very far. So at least we have control of our time setting and alarm setting mechanism once more. I really have no idea what the connection is between this and whatever's going on up here in the motion work. If I let the alarm rip, if I let her go, you can see the gear teeth. You can see that pulls that forward. I know I'm gonna keep stopping it. You can see this is being moved forward, which it's all kind of pivoting on this here, which is fine. And then it presses up against the alarm trip spring. And it just pushes it down a little bit. And then it, of course, stays in that position. You can see what's happening there. The spring just keeps snapping back. That's supposed to happen. But what is, like, what? What does that do? What does this mean? I have no idea what's supposed to happen next. I assume this is some sort of just snooze button, or I honestly couldn't tell you guys. I may have to go look at the actual, that run out of alarm. Oh yeah, it did. The Geneva, or not Geneva Stopworks, but the Stopworks ran that down to nothing. I'm assuming that there has to be something in the advertising material for this that hopefully reveals the mystery. It's some sort of alarm stopper mechanism or something. That's what this has to be. I'm completely lost though as to how it's supposed to work, because it's not like the Big Bends where you've got like a, actually I've got one right here I can just show you. Well, the movement you're about to see is a 1924 Big Bend style 1A. Now this thing has an alarm that switches itself on and off. And that is done through this lever here, which runs all the way around. And you can see it's on this wheel here. There's a cam there, which that rides on. And if I trip the alarm, there's I think there's spring tension in the alarm. We're going to find out. Once that cam is raised or lowered, it should let go of the alarm hammer on that side. And we should get, you know, the hammer over there is going to ring. That is if there's any spring tension. It really doesn't look like there is any. Yeah, no, there isn't. But okay, that's what's supposed to happen. This moves over, and then this starts ringing. Sound like a plan? See, look, there it kind of is. It's just out of power. So, if it's something like that, you know, where there's no... I'm not seeing the connection here. I'm not seeing how it interacts with the time train. I'm not seeing any sort of ratchet mechanism that moves, you know, point A from point B here. You can see what I'm talking about when that, you know, alarm escape wheel snaps back. You can see the wire moving there. That holds that in place and then spins. So yeah, the pivot is supposed to be elongated like that. This is so bizarre. At least we got the movement together without destroying it, right? That's the main thing. Yeah, let's go look at some advertising. I've got no flipping clue.